everybody, John Wagnon here with DevCentral, and in this video we're going to talk about the flexibility and the power that NGINX provides when it comes to web application firewall policies. And so I'm going to draw a diagram here that kind of explains how all of this goodness happens, right? So let's say you have NGINX App Protect as your web application firewall, so I'll just put that here. Maybe you've got a couple of instances of that defined, and then you have application workloads that it's protecting. So here's, app workloads over here, and you've got a few of those as well, right? And then you have users who want to access your applications, of course. So you have, users accessing, but then you also have not just good users, but attackers, like bad users, right? So you have attackers that are going to try to do bad things to your applications, and they're going to have to come through NGINX App Protect, the web application firewall, and this is going to block the attackers, but it's going to let the users, the good users, through. All right, so all this happens here on the data plane, so I'm just going to put a big box around all of this, and we'll call this, or we'll label this, the data plane, right? All right, so good users come in, and I'm going to put a little check mark there because they get to come on through. Attackers try to come in, I'm going to put a big X right there because they can't come through, because this NGINX App Protect web application firewall policy keeps the bad guys out, right? Okay, so let's say that you have developed your NGINX App Protect, your WAF policy. You spent a lot of time, a lot of hard work to get that just right for your applications, but you want more out-of-the-box visibility. You want easier management for the WAF, WAF management itself, as well as policy management. All right, so because of all that, you decide to migrate to NGINX Controller. And just a quick word about NGINX Controller. NGINX Controller enables organizations to deploy application protection easily and in a standardized and a self-service way, so that your application teams can have the speed that they need, and then your security teams can have the control and the visibility that they need to ensure compliance, right? So as you transition to NGINX Controller, then I'm going to put that up here on what we'll call the control plane, or frankly even the management plane. It handles a lot of management type functions as well. So you have, I'll just start to draw this out here. So you have NGINX Controller, and so I'll just put controller right up here. But then there is a security add-on called Controller App Security. So I'm going to just go ahead and draw that all the way out. So security, right? So now you have Controller App Security, and Controller App Security, like I said, is an add-on to the NGINX Controller ADC. But NGINX Controller App Security allows you to bring your own policy, as it were. It allows you to use the NGINX App Protect web application firewall policy as is, the one that you've already worked so hard on, or you can bring an outside policy in to Controller App Security, and then it handles distributing that across your applications. So here in the control plane, or management plane even, I'll put this NGINX Controller App Security, and then you've got applications defined. So I'll just put app, and then I'll just maybe put a few of these that are defined here within the control plane, management plane functions. And then outside of that, you have a variety of teams. Maybe you have a security team. So I'll just put security. Maybe you have like a DevOps team. So I'll put DevOps. Maybe you have a development team, or like a developer out here. All right, those different teams want to interact with the security functions or the management functions, the speed from the different teams with the application. So they're going to interact with these applications, and so they want to do a variety of functions. And so I'll just put like a little box right here in terms of what they want to do. And these things are going to be things like secure the applications or define the applications. They want to monitor these applications or analyze or refine, really make changes, those kinds of things. So these teams are going to interact here, and those interactive functions are then going to come into the Controller App Security, this control or management plane right here. So I'll put a big box around that. And the way that these teams interact with Controller App Security is a couple of primary ways. So you have either the GUI, so I'll just put GUI right here, the graphical user interface, or of course the API. So I'll put API right here. All right. So you have the API, you have the GUI, that these teams can then have this, like I said, this self-service way to manage the applications. All right, the control app security, as the applications are defined here, from the control management plane can send down configuration changes to the data plane to the Nginx App Protect Web Application Firewall. So here's configuration, so I'll just put config right here. And then also from the data plane, from the Web Application Firewall, then violations and metrics. So I'll just put, violation here, maybe metrics. Metrics can be fed back up into controller app security, which then allows this controller or controller app security to then generate these metrics and these analytics that these analytics tools can then consume. And so that gives you the visibility and the management and all that. All right, in order for these teams to interact or to update, as it were, the actual web application firewall policy, the Nginx App Protect WAF policy, they can send the they can pass the text that was in the Nginx App Protect policy to controller app security in JSON format, and then the controller app security can then take that JSON formatted text and send the configuration changes down to the web application firewall itself, and then then those changes can be applied across these application workloads. I will make a quick note that the F5 web application firewall, as well as the Nginx App Protect web application firewall, are built on the same WAF technology platform. And so this policy portability that we're kind of getting at here is easily achieved using this controller app security, right? So one of the things that I wanted to mention as well, and this is an important thing, is when the Nginx App Protect policy is put into or input into controller app security, then it effectively becomes a custom policy that is now shareable across all the applications here in that controller instance, right? So again, the JSON formatted text comes in via the APIs, primarily via the API. JSON formatted text comes in, and then that becomes this custom shareable across all applications policy, all right? And then if that needs any changes done, then a new version can be created, and then the controller would then deploy the new policy version to be used across all the Nginx App Protect instances that are sitting in front of those applications, right? And they can use that shared custom WAF policy. And so that's a really powerful thing that controller app security can handle. Another thing that I wanted to mention, I alluded this just a second ago, is let's say you don't currently have Nginx App Protect web application firewall. Let's say that you use another F5 like Advanced WAF or even ASM. Well, the Advanced WAF and ASM use XML formatted policies, but this needs the JSON formatted policy, right? So there is a policy converter, an Nginx App Protect policy converter on the controller that you can install, and it effectively converts from XML to JSON format. It also calls out any kind of differences in features or things that Nginx App Protect doesn't currently support yet. So then there's no surprises on that. It's effectively, this policy converter is it's almost like a bridge to come from Advanced WAF over to controller app security, right? And so I'll just mention again, one of the reasons that this is easily achievable is because the F5 WAF, the Nginx App Protect WAF, they're all built on the same technology platform, so this policy portability is easy to achieve. So using the Nginx Controller App Security is just another way that organizations can empower their security team to provide this self-service approach that I talked about to app protection across all of the application team. So really powerful solution. So hey, thanks for watching this Lightboard lesson video with us today. If you like this thing, you can click up here on our DevCentral logo and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you guys out there in the community.